Hello.
Hey there.
Hey,
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am enjoying myself, sailing on the high seas for adventure and booty.
You would make an amazing pirate.
Thank you. No, I'm going to do the top of the show bit with this thing on, and then I'm going to take it off. We have so many surprises today. So let's start with the most important update of all. How are you today?
I am good. The weather is beautiful today. And unlike my usual, I got to spend a lot of time outdoors.
Excellent. Do you feel comfortable saying what neighborhood you're in?
Yeah, I'm in the neighborhood Ditmas Park in Brooklyn, which is a really beautiful historical district full of Victorian homes and currently lots and lots of flowers.
Beautiful. Beautiful. I have an update for you.
Mm-hmm.
I got some test results back.
Okay.
I have H. pylori.
What is that?
It's a bacteria. It's a bacterium, and it causes a lot of these symptoms that I've been experiencing. And I guess on Tuesday, I'm going to have to go on 4 different things all at once. And there's going to be a die-off, and then I should probably be taking kefir for the rest of my life, which isn't the worst thing in the world. And
I love it.
Yes. What brand do you? I don't know what the dairy brands are in the States anymore. What type do you drink?
Oh, well, I can't do cow dairy, so I do goat milk kefir, which I love.
Okay. I have to try that. There's a local dairy, MC Dairy. Their products are very good. They sell their kefir in glass bottles still.
Amazing. So will you put like a lot of antibiotics?
I have to take a lot of antibiotics.
Do you? For the bacteria?
So I think there's a bismuth class drug or a substitute. Oh, my costume's not working. 2 antibiotics and a proton pump inhibitor.
Got it.
And I also need to avoid coffee and salt. But, I'm thrilled to know.
No, knowing is the most important part.
It's not an AIDS diagnosis, but a man can dream. Just kidding. Everyone knows AIDS.
Stop.
Just kidding. Anyway. So there's so much to talk about today. Thank you for reviewing that podcast, that conversation between Joe Rogan and Sarah Imani Walker.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of my favorite podcasts. Oh, there's my hand again. You know what? Let me take off this costume.
Okay.
How do I do that?
Uh-oh, you're trapped in it.
Well, I guess we'll be editing this part out. They don't let you get rid of things? Okay, there you go. Yay, thank you, Google Meet. Okay, so I've gotten rid of that. So now I need this. Look, I have new lights. I'm a late 80s music video.
Ooh, amazing.
Oh, baby, drive me. Yeah, you're a film professor. You can show me how to use these properly. But there we go. I look somewhat radiant. Okay.
You do look radiant.
So this probably isn't right, but I'll learn as we go. Anyway, there we go. All right. So that is one of my 5 favorite episodes of any podcast ever.
You mentioned.
Yes, and it's such an inspiration to me. You're doing a podcast right now, but do you listen to any, watch any? Do you like any?
I listened to one called Fast Politics.
Okay.
But I've fallen into the habit of only really listening to the Monday episode because she has a co-host on Mondays, and I love the banter between the two of them.
Who is it?
Molly Jong Fast and this guy Rick Wilson, who it's funny, Marilyn Monroe used to do this where she would pretend that Cary Grant was her father. And I pretend that I have these like surrogate fathers. So it's usually Mandy Patinkin.
Really?
But Rick Wilson is another surrogate father figure for me. He doesn't know, of course, but I love him.
You should write him a letter. Letters tend to work out well for you.
I feel like it would freak him out.
Look at all of the people that you've charmed, seduced, enlightened, and impressed with your letters. For example, Helen Gurley Brown, with whom I made contact first. And for people who are kind of watching this, listening to this, who don't know, Helen Gurley Brown is the legendary editor-in-chief of Cosmopolitan magazine. She emerged from poverty in Appalachia to become the highest paid female copywriter in the world, and then the highest paid copywriter, male or female, in the world. She then wrote a legendary book, Sex and the Single Girl, which in terms of its format is quite strange. It is all prose, but it's tips for dating a married man, how to make crab salad, why you should never have a roommate. And it's written in this very bouncy style that seemed to have inspired the way that the Carrie Bradshaw character writes in Sex and the City, although I thought Helen Gurley Brown's writing was better. That book was so successful that it was made into a movie, and Hearst Publications asked Ms. Gurley Brown to take over Cosmopolitan magazine, which had been a very staid literary publication. Most people don't know this, but a long time ago, magazines never had cover lines. There was no such thing as a cover line. And when you open them up, it was 3, 4, or 5 columns, depending on how big the paper was. And the illustrations were usually on like the upper half of the first page, maybe a spot illustration here or there, New York Times style, but that's it. Now, her husband was David Brown, the famous movie producer, who was a genius at doing movie posters with their lurid, sensationalistic headlines. So she went to him for advice in terms of how to innovate in this magazine. He inspired her to create the cover line. 10 tips for wowzer sex or whatever. And she really did create a revolution in language and in punctuation, because no one had ever used punctuation like that. You want to talk about your affection for exclamation marks?
I have been told that I use them too often.
By whom?
By editors of my writing.
Well, I think it's because you've absorbed a little bit of that lurid camp style of 1940s, 50s, 60s gossip rags,
which I worship. And I think that Helen Gurley Brown's writing style is fantastic. And I wish I could write like that.
Can you do me a favor? Can you take me down memory lane? Because I met her once. I'll talk about that some other time. But right now I'm really interested in you. And can you take me down memory lane and remind me how your meetings with her went?
I never met her in person. It
was all correspondence?
It was all letters, which I still have. And most of them were from when I was in Berlin and Los Angeles. If I'd been in New York, I'm sure we would have met. But most of them were from Berlin and Los Angeles. And we kind of had it was sort of like a joke where I'd send her like an update I think it was like every June or July. I'd send her an update on what I'd been up to, and she'd always write back. And I would send her like new music that I'd recorded. I sent her my book Lover Girl when it was published. And she was adorable.
Didn't she do the blurb for that?
She did a blurb for Lover Girl. She said it's something like, there's no other book like this one. And she really liked my album Plastique and said that she danced around the apartment to it.
That's wonderful.
I know. She was an icon.
I didn't remember it that way. I thought you had met with her. So
sadly, no.
Yeah, I should have been like you. I should have corresponded back. I had a lovely meeting and a few correspondences with her, and the meeting was in her office at Hearst Publications. She had stepped down as editor-in-chief of Cosmo. She was the creative director of the international editions and Dahlia. When you walked into her office, everything was red. It was totally color drenched in red.
Wow.
Rough reds, sleek reds, high gloss reds, low luster reds, red, red, red. And she was wearing a red shirt and a black pencil skirt. It was a great experience. It was a great experience. And I hate the fact that she's not around.
I know. I know.
So we've talked about one of your novels, Lover Girl.
Mm-hmm.
You've written that and many other works of fiction. What's the name of the choose your own ending book? I forgot.
Breathe with Me.
Okay. So I want to have a conversation with you that you might not want to have.
Okay.
And you can tell me if you don't, but I'm going to go for it. So you're a scholar, you're a professor, you're a department head, but you're also a musician and an author of these erotic novels.
In a former life.
Yes, in a former life. I mean, we all go through different phases. You expressed discomfort with the way that I made that part of your bio for this podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's okay with you, I want to tell you more elaborately why I think it should stay in.
Sure.
So you make for a pretty incredible role model because you've had so many lives and you've lived so fully. And your life is kind of, it's not corporate, but it is rather conservative. You wake up early, you go to bed early, you have you have an impressive job title. And I think that's something that students and fellow scholars need to see, someone who's really lived life full out. The other thing is that there were certain technical innovations in the erotic fiction that, in a McLuhan-esque way, were more important than the narrative itself.
Mm-hmm.
And I want you to remind me why, for that one book, you chose to do, because I've never, remember we did research beforehand, I couldn't find any choose your own adventure erotic novels.
Right.
What made you want to do that?
To me, it seemed like a no-brainer because I feel like the whole point of erotica is to live vicariously through the characters.
Right.
And what better option than to give you more control over the situation, to be able to almost reach inside the book and say, I choose that person, I choose this person, I choose to do this with that person. I mean, it's, you know, you're customizing the erotica for yourself.
Do you have a handle on who reads your books, like what the psychographic or demographic is?
No.
Okay. I just want to say that I think that's very feminist of you in the best possible way. Because why go out and expose yourself to danger when you can kind of work things through? Because if you're young,
Mm-hmm.
you don't really have a sense of implications.
Right.
But I really thought that you did a magnificent job of splitting the narrative by personality type,
Mm-hmm.
by kink fetish or orientation,
Mm-hmm.
in some cases, where you did the heavy lifting and kind of reading that book is a wild ride, but it's also a safe experience.
That's the idea.
And so that's why I think it's in there, because in terms of storytelling, in terms of the construction of a narrative, it was really, really innovative.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the part where,
I was shocked that I couldn't get it published.
but you did.
Well, I self-published it.
Yes. But that's so publishing. And you had excellent cover design.
I had excellent cover design.
My second husband, who was a brilliant designer, a beyond designer, did your covers, and I love them. Although if you ever need a cover design for a scholarly or an erotic book, I'm always here for you. I once that relationship broke up, once that marriage broke up, I said, I didn't say I need a new boyfriend, I need a new lover, I need a new husband. I said I need a new graphic designer. and it never worked out. So I'm like, damn it, I'm going to have to teach myself. So I did.
Same.
So do you have any exciting exhibits, talks? I should mention that your YouTube page has a lot of YouTube channel, I should say. I'm still getting used to the language. Your YouTube channel has some really, really interesting people that you brought to your school to speak with students. Tell me anything. Tell me what's coming up next. Tell me what's going on now. Reflect upon some of your favorite moments from some of those lectures or conversations, as they may be.
I will go through that backwards. So I started, it's not recorded, but I started an event called Industry Tuesdays at school, where almost every Tuesday I brought in a different member of the Hollywood entertainment industry to speak with the students. And we had the last one of the semester was the actor Michael Emerson, who is phenomenal. I'm a huge fan. He is the star of the CBS show Evil. He was in Person of Interest. He was in Lost. He was in Saw. And he's just amazing. And so the concept behind those events was that they would be short and sweet, 45 minutes, just conversation with the students, answering questions. So no lecture, screening, presentation, just kind of like a fireside chat type of thing.
Right.
So we just finished those because the semester is almost over, which is really exciting. We have 3 more weeks and then the semester ends. And then I get to spend the summer gardening and writing.
You have a garden?
I took over the garden for the apartment building. We have a courtyard space that had not been utilized before me, and some outside the front of the building space that was looking really, really sad. And I took it over 2 years ago and made it my own, and it's pretty spectacular, if I may say so.
Send me pictures.
Okay, I'll show you. I have befores and afters.
I want them. I want to see them all.
And maybe you want to post them on, like, you know, your Instagram or something, for if there are any fans of the podcast who are also curious to see the garden before and after.
Of course, that goes without saying.
But yes, so I'm looking forward to doing some gardening this summer and to finish that Severance essay and then start working on my new book.
I only have 1 episode of Severance left.
And then we will process.
And then we will process. There are some things that I want to say right now, however.
Okay.
So remember you told me that that episode with what's her name? Harmony
Cobell?
Yeah. You said that wasn't your favorite episode.
It was not.
So I loved it in a weird way, and I'm going to tell you why.
Okay.
First of all, I can't get enough of that whack job accent that she put into that character.
Mm-hmm.
And I love looking at her thick silver hair. I love it.
It's amazing.
The second thing is I mean, I don't know whether they used green screen or if they actually shot it there, but that was definitely shot out east in Canada, right? That doesn't look like the United States at all. That looks exactly like Canada.
I know that most of the show is shot in upstate New York.
Well, maybe I'm wrong.
I don't know where that particular episode is, but they do usually you can find the shooting locations online.
Yeah.
But most of the stuff is shot in upstate New York.
Okay.
Some in New Jersey.
Okay.
Like the Lumen building in New Jersey.
Yes, it's the old Bell Technologies building campus,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So I loved it for those oddball reasons, but the thing that I really loved is that the television shows don't do backdoor pilots anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Like when, Wonder Woman did them, Different Strokes did them, Happy Days did them. Mork and Mindy, for example, was a spinoff of Happy Days. And it really felt like some sort of germination of a spinoff.
Mm-hmm.
Furthermore, I watched that episode the same day that I had interviewed Reverend Douglas Moore of Laidlaw Memorial United Church. He's my Thursday co-host.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason that really blew my mind is that the podcast that we had shot earlier that morning was about him being kicked out of his Mennonite colony.
Wow.
Because of an act of rebellion. He courageously, and ultimately I would say triumphantly, because where he landed is great for him, great for the world. But he comes from a family, generation after generation, that has mental illness in it, some, if not all of it, keyed to the fact that there were lots of family members who didn't want to be there. And even though the men are always and the women are sometimes let out for a year, the Amish do that too. In reality, the way that he described it, you're expected to come back.
Right.
Well, this decision to come back, made by people who didn't want to, never worked out well for them. So after the third suicide in his family, as a young minister, he was commanded to make a very, very public statement condemning his own family members to hell, because suicide's just not acceptable, and it's a mark on the family, because if the family unit was more cohesive and doing its job, then that never would have happened, so the thought goes. So you can understand why that episode impacted me more than if that podcast had never happened.
Absolutely.
But I have a question for you. Those notebooks. So is she the one who designed? So does it turn out that she's the one who designed the Severance technology? Is that the implication?
That's the implication.
And that she did it in high school?
Yeah, as a child.
I also want to say I was not expecting to see Sandra Bernhard as a nurse for a second time.
I hope you were delighted.
I was. Do you like her with blonde hair?
I like her with any color hair.
Yeah, me too. Me too. You know what we shot, and it never got put up. The video didn't work out right, but remember that skincare segment?
Yes.
So how would you feel about running to wherever you keep your stuff, and I'll run to wherever I keep my stuff, and we'll do a quick review?
Sure.
Okay, so it's Sean and Dahlia's Skincare Secrets. I wrote a theme song.
Oh, amazing.
Okay, so hold on for a second. This is going to be terrible. You'll know where my inspiration came from right away. You've got serums, that's what all your fans say. Charcoal masks, lactic acids that refine. Oh yeah, all your creams are made in your own basement. I'll watch the last episode of Severance tonight. I'm gonna rub you down with my line all over your body. I'm gonna rub you down with my line. Brand new product line all over. You will smell just like a rose.
Excellent.
Not really, but I appreciate your enthusiasm and encouragement. All right, I'm going to get my stuff.
Okay.
You get yours too.
Okay.
Please stand by. We are experiencing a skincare intervention.
They eat the salmon? Where would it be? In the middle of the goddamn floor? I don't see anything. Yeah, I mean, I was actually just thinking, like, why is this fucking podcast?
All over. I'm gonna rub you down with my creams. No, I'm gonna rub you down with my cream. I'm gonna rub you down with my creams. I'm gonna rub you down with my creams. all over, from your head down to your toes. Is she there? Is she there?
I'm back.
Yay! Hold on, what are you wearing?
I'm wearing a dress, a little summer dress.
Let me see. Is that the one you were going to wear to court when the Menendez brothers got resentenced, which never happened?
No, that one's a little more conservative.
Okay, I like that.
Thank you.
It's very love profusion of you.
Thank you. It's from AliExpress, which
Really?
yeah. So
Wow.
it's from China. So in
We're
every
in
minute
contact.
now,
I'm sorry.
any minute now, the tariffs will kick in, and I will no longer be able to order things from China.
Well, new things will open up.
Sure. So you want to go first, or you want me to go first?
I want you to go first.
Okay.
While we avoid talking about what's going on in the United States.
So the brand that I use the most is called Hydropeptide.
Okay.
And this is their pre-treatment toner, which is the one that I love so much that I bought the travel size container so that I could bring it with me when I travel, because it's just very refreshing. So after I wash my face, and washing the face is boring, I do the pre-treatment toner.
Hold on. I need to say something. YouTube AI, if you've detected an undeclared product placement, you are wrong. We aren't getting paid for this. We never get paid for anything we do, damn it. Although if any of the lines mentioned in the next 5 minutes want to sponsor us, call me.
And then my friend in LA actually makes this. This is Mandelic serum.
Wow.
And it's Peace of Mind skincare.
And that's a facial oil.
It's a facial oil. It's with like 10%. It's got like some acid in it. Like it's a little bit like a little very mini chemical peel. So first I do the toner, and then I do the Mandelic serum.
Do you wash your face?
I do wash my face. I wash my face basically twice a day. It depends, but roughly twice a day.
What do you use?
I actually use Burt's Bees. I really like Burt's Bees. I've been using it for years.
Do you use the Noxzema-like stuff?
No.
Which one do you use? The coconut oil?
No. It's I didn't bring it because I thought it was kind of boring.
That's okay.
But it's a face wash. I will it's like called like a soothing face wash. I'll pull it up real fast.
You know, I have a confession to make.
It's the deep cleansing cream.
Yeah, I use that too sometimes. It's like Noxzema, but better.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, it's great. I don't wash my face. That's the only thing that I've ever put on my face that's like considered a face wash. Because I'm very opposed to anything that makes suds going on the face.
It doesn't make suds.
Right. That's why it's the only one I've ever used.
I see. Got it. Right.
Okay.
Okay. So, and then I use LumiPro C, which is by Hydropeptide.
Okay.
And that goes on top of the Mandelic serum. And I recently bought, because it was on sale, their vitamin C oil.
Okay.
It's called Firmabright.
Okay.
Mix it with the LumiPro C. Like I just put like 2 drops in the LumiPro C.
Yes.
And then I put that. And then next, my same friend who makes the Mandelic serum makes this oil called Om oil.
Okay.
And that goes on top. And then sunscreen. And that's my process for the day. And then
how many steps is that?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, including sunscreen.
That's almost Korean of you.
And then this is my face mask.
Now it's definitely Korean of you.
This is my red light face mask.
Oh, really? Does
Yeah,
it work?
of course. Yes, there we go.
You know, you're blue. Oh, wow. Wow.
And what's cool about it is it has different settings. So for instance, it has the different colors. So I could do like, there's like a cell rejuvenator. And then there's one that's called Daily Dose, where it cycles through the different colors, as you can see here.
Wow.
But this is my light mask, my LED light mask. Pretty
Wow.
intense.
Well, you know, you look at least a decade younger than you are, and you have very light skin and very light blue eyes. So it's amazing that you look as dewy, fresh, and radiant as you do.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Thanks for sharing that. Now, I'll show you my stuff.
Okay.
So I either use Burt's Bees Rose Water Toner or Thayer's Witch Hazel or whatever rose water I can find to clean my face. If I'm using that Burt's Bees Noxzema-esque stuff, then I go into the following. I feel like we're doing the MDNA skincare commercial. So first of all, I have my toner. This is Witch Hazel. I made this myself. This is Witch Hazel, Rose Water, Patchouli, Lavender, and Grapefruit.
Amazing.
Then I have this oil, which is olive oil, castor oil, frankincense, myrrh, and sandalwood. So I had some GI symptoms last month. They were horrible. I'm not going to get into what they are. It's disgusting. But I will say that I got 4 different things to take care of it from my physician. So after a week of suffering, I threw everything out. I went online. Based on the advice that I got, I ran out and I got some some castor oil. I poured some of it into my navel, rubbed some of it over my belly, and took a tablespoon of it. And within 3 hours, all of the symptoms were gone.
Wow.
Castor oil is kind of amazing.
I had no idea.
Oh, yeah. Castor oil, I don't really understand how it works or why, but it's wonderful. All right, so that's that.
Do you apply castor oil topically or do you consume it?
Well, that's the whole thing about castor oil. You can use it in all these different ways.
I know, but what do you do?
I did all 3.
Okay.
And I had to do it for a week, but now my primary use of castor oil is as a ingredient in this. And I probably should have done this first, but I put a stronger version. Well, it's not stronger, it's just the ratios are different. In this roller ball, which I got at Amazon, and I can do under my eyes here, or sometimes my face widens if I end up on my stomach when I'm sleeping, which I hate to do, but sometimes I find myself doing that. And I can get like half an inch of puffiness on each side. So I know that there's this thing called gua sha or something like that.
Gua sha, yeah.
Yeah, and I haven't taken the time to look at a video yet, but like basically I just kind of press down on my fat face and it's better. And here's the bonus round for you. This is controversial. So this is olive oil, castor oil, and iodine. I use it as a bronzer. I use it on my body. I happen to believe from experimentation and research that this mitigates some of the effects that I'm probably suffering as a result of my weekly tanning bed habit. But the thing is, if I don't do it, I get really depressed, and it's important. And as someone who's like bipolar 2, bipolar 2.5, going toward bipolar 3, not 1, It's very important to keep my mood steady for this new enterprise. So I'll do what I have to do. I can't put this on I usually use it on my body. I can't put it on my face when I have white hair because it makes it look like like someone whose hair has gone silver or actually kind of like urine colored, and they should probably use a purple shampoo, but they haven't. It turns it into that for a few days.
Got it.
This has been the skincare experience. All right, so what are we going to talk about next?
I assumed you had a prepared agenda.
I do. I just wanted to be polite. And also everything that you do and say is interesting to me.
That's very sweet of you.
Oh, you know what? Well, it's true. I say it because it's true. So did anything else happen in LA in terms of the Menendez brothers that you didn't get to report in last time?
No, everything's postponed to May 9th.
Okay. I am writing my letters this weekend.
I mailed my letters a couple days ago.
Thank you. Thank you. And those letters, for people who haven't seen our last podcast together, they're to encourage who are they encouraging? The prosecutor?
The parole board.
The parole board to release Lyle and Eric Menendez, who shot their parents in their sleep to death following years or decades of sexual abuse, which most of the world and most of the court don't believe, but I do.
Same.
Got it. All right. Oh, before I forget, will Erin be joining us?
I can drag her in here. She's in the kitchen.
Well, not quite yet.
Okay.
I want to talk about a couple of more things with you. Oh, here we go. So are you at the point in your life where you're still listening to new music, or have you kind of evolved your library and it's really about an act of diving back into it when you want to listen to music?
I would say both.
Okay. Who are the new acts that you like?
Well, we've both bonded over our affection for Dua Lipa.
Okay.
I really, really, really think Taylor Swift is a brilliant songwriter.
Okay, a lot of people don't.
I know, and I think they're wrong.
So as a pop culture critic, a film scholar, so on and so forth, talk to us formalistically about what makes her songwriting great.
She has an amazing vocabulary. And I, as someone who also loves words, I really love and appreciate the precision with which she describes scenarios, feelings, people. I mean, she's a poet, which sounds really cliched, but I think it's true. And on top of that, she has a really good sense of rhythm and like playfulness with her word usage. Which creates for really memorable songs. And I think her last couple albums were just phenomenal, and I listened to them over and over again. I'm also a really big fan of this artist called LP, the letters L and the letter P.
Who's that?
They are a queer singer-songwriter who is just excellent albums, and the kind of albums where you listen, like with Taylor, you listen all the way through. You want, like, you get like each album creates this vibe, it's not like with Dua Lipa, I don't know that you need to do the album, and sometimes you do the remix and you hop around. But with LP, you also do the album. Like, you're like, I am in the mood for this album, and you just go there.
Okay, so I'm going to look that up.
Okay.
I will say that I actually find the sequencing of the tracks on Dua Lipa's albums to be quite masterful. Mm-hmm. And I don't love all of the B-sides or deep cuts or anything like that. Not always, but sometimes I do. And I just really think that they work as albums. And I saw an interview with her where she was talking about the way that she conceptualizes things in terms of albums. She's not really a huge fan of this tendency to just release singles or EPs. Have you seen her concert or listened to her concert at Royal Albert Hall?
No.
So she does orchestral versions of her biggest hits.
Wow.
And she's dressed in, well, it's the same dress and gloves that Jessica Rabbit wore in Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
I know what that looks like.
And, you know, that's what I really love in an artist. I am such a fan of sampling. I'm such a fan of cultural appropriation.
Same.
I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I also think as an observer that culture is nothing but the story of people borrowing from one another.
Agreed.
I mean, tribes of people go here, there, ever. Like, I didn't know until last week that Spanish, the language, is roughly somewhere between Latin and Italian that was then layered over by Arabic.
I had no idea.
And the best things, I think, come from cultural hybridization. But anyway, it's really, really great. And it's interesting how the songs that are the most electronic and would have seemed the most difficult to do get new life and new depth.
I bet.
Through this treatment.
I bet.
It really is great. It goes.
Recorded?
What?
Is it recorded? Like, did she put it out as an album?
Yep. It's out as an album and as a concert.
Okay.
I can access it in Canada on YouTube.
Okay.
I think in the States it was released as a special on CBS.
Okay.
If I'm right, you might be able to catch it on the Paramount Network. I don't know.
Okay. I'm more interested in listening.
Okay. Do you have cable TV anymore, or do you just do streams?
I just do streaming.
Okay.
And I'll subscribe to different networks depending on what I want to watch.
Okay. All right. I have gone back to my Kelly Clarkson playlist lately. Do you like her or no?
I don't have strong feelings one way or the other.
Okay. Can I tell you what my
Absolutely.
Yeah. So again, I don't love everything that she does. But I find myself in a state of persistent disbelief that she exists. And the reason why I say that is, it seems to me as though she can do anything that she wants with her voice. She can sing high, she can sing low. She can do dance, she can do rock, she can do soul. And as someone who's just started doing a daily podcast, I have no idea how she manages to wake up every morning and cover a different song every single day that her show tapes. So, you know, sometimes you love the art, sometimes you love the artist, sometimes you like both.
It's true.
And I've also been exploring Billy Joel.
Oh.
Do you like Billy Joel?
I do like Billy Joel.
You know, people have told me when I have a different thing happening with my face, like, you know,
look like him.
Yeah, which I don't see, but other people do. And you know, there are, you know, I do karaoke a lot. I am a karaoke superstar, Dahlia.
I know you are.
And there are songs that I, after one or two tries, I'm like, no, I can't do that anymore because I don't have a great voice. But it just so happens that there are some songs that I can do really well. I can do Take Me Out by Franz Ferdinand with excellence.
I've seen you do many songs well.
Well, thank you. I also, there's this song by you know Damiano David?
No.
Okay, so he's the lead singer of a Italian glam rock band called Måneskin,
Okay.
which is a word that's taken from some Scandinavian language. So before he broke out to achieve massive success in the United States as a solo artist, I think that Måneskin's last single was "I Want to Be Your Slave."
Okay.
I normally don't like hard rock songs.
Mm-hmm.
And due to the mystical experiences that I enjoyed last year and the year before, I avoid songs with satanic or devilish overtones.
Mm-hmm.
But I love that song. So here's what I did. And I came up with the idea to do this spontaneously, and it was a big risk. So the verses aren't that offensive. It's the chorus that really bothers me.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm about to sing the first line because there's a musical break before it, and I'm like, I can't do this. So I just threw in the chorus to Like a Prayer.
Oh wow, I love that.
And it
Did
hit
it
the
work?
beat, it hit the beat perfectly. I was so happy.
Amazing.
I was so happy. You know, if we're ever in the same city at the same time for long enough, I would love to pick an artist or an album and
Mhm.
just do interpretations of it.
Okay.
Because, you know, if it's an artist or an album that already has a following, it's easier to get people to pay the cover.
Got it.
Give me some candidates.
For us to do some
Yeah.
well, obviously Madonna.
Which album? If we were just going to go through recreate a whole album.
Well, I love your take on I'm Going Bananas. So it might be kind of fun to do the Dick Tracy album because I feel like that's neglected.
It is. It's a really good album.
It's a really good album.
It's a very strange album.
Yes, it is.
When I have friends who's like, you know, so here's what's really strange. I used to prefer friends who were my age or older.
Mm-hmm.
And for the past 5 to 10 years, I've copped this attitude that I hate people who are younger than me.
Okay.
God punished me and rewarded me at the same time because all of my friends are under the age of 30 now.
Oh, how interesting. Aaron also gravitates towards younger people.
I mean, I don't gravitate towards them.
They gravitate towards you?
Yeah, but the ones that gravitate towards me are like super hard workers. Like, I know this. My friend Ashton is 21 years old,
Mm-hmm.
and already is running his own business with employees that he has working full time.
Wow.
He's a tree doctor.
Amazing.
You know what else is great about picking I'm Breathless?
Mm-hmm.
There's a duet between Madonna and Daddy.
This is true.
And it's a very hard song to sing.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of which, Dahlia, would it be possible for me to speak with Erin?
Yes. Should I go get her?
Please.
Okay. Erin? Erin?
Ladies and gentlemen, Erin is Dahlia's, I don't know what word they use, lover, partner, wife, spouse. I know that they took their relationship real slow. I think they waited a couple of weeks before they moved in together.
Erin is feeling shy, so we'll see if she changes her mind, but right now she's hiding.
Can she hear me?
No.
All right, so I want you to play this for her because I've come with a prepared statement to welcome Erin to the SPS podcast.
Oh, Erin, do you want to come listen at least?
It's okay. She could. Okay. Erin, you are going to regret it. As I said, I've come with a statement and I'm going to read it right now. You know, Erin, When I Think of You is one of Janet Jackson's best and most important songs. But when I think of you, Erin, for reasons of quantum entanglement I'm not at liberty to discuss right now. I think not so much of Janet Jackson, but rather her former choreographer and my personal favorite Syrian-Canadian Jewess, my homegirl, Paula Abdul. Have you seen the video for Vibology, Aaron? You really must, even though it wasn't directed by DAViD FiNCHER, like so many of her other videos were. And by the way, the videos that DAViD FiNCHER did for Paula Abdul, Jody Watley, Madonna, and Belinda Carlisle are better than any of his movies.
I agree.
Really?
Oh yeah,
I don't
100%.
think he would. I don't think he gets the appreciation for his music videos. I mean, shockingly,
Express Yourself is iconic.
yes, but also his videos for Jody Watley were the first time ever that high fashion collided with music.
Mm-hmm.
Even though there have been so many pop singers since the 1940s who have dressed really well and have been marketed, you know, on the basis of their style as much as their music, the actual fashion industry and the music industry, which are in constant collaboration and cross-pollination, never. But with the help of DAViD FiNCHER, Jody Watley changed all of that. Anyway, back to my introduction to Aaron. You see, Aaron, Paula Abdul's primary contribution to the world is her transformation of cheerleading and her one-woman revival of Hollywood-style dance moves, from Gene Kelly and Bob Fosse to a number of others whose names I don't know. Aaron, listen to me. You have a similar magic, except that yours is in the field of mycology. You remind each and every one of us how healing and therapeutic and transformative a magic mushroom can be. Accordingly, I salute you. And I, along with Dahlia, by the way, your superhero name is Dr. Dahlia. And then my other superheroes are Caleb the Tall, Reverend Doug, I'm SPS. We're like the Justice League. Accordingly, I salute you and welcome you to the SPS podcast with my latest song parody. I call it Mycology, and I think you'll really like it. I know I do. Do you know the song? Damn.
No.
Okay. You've got that mycology, that mycology. Now you are tripping next to me and you can set your trauma free. And I love what you do when you do what the dude bongos in the nude. Here's a microdose for you. It's a psychedelic way. I'm in a silly way. I'm in a silly way. I'm in a silly way. Mycology. You ask, what does it mean? It's the removal of the illusion between you and me. Mycology, mycology, mycology. And that is probably a traumatizing performance, but it will be erased from your nervous system as the horror that you were just confronted by when you watch the video, at which point it will transform into a retroactive work of genius.
I will make sure she hears all this.
Thank you so much. Do you think she'll like it?
I think she will love it.
Okay.
I don't know why she's being shy.
But she has every right to be shy. You never know what's going to happen on this podcast. I'm considering an all-nude episode. I mean, I won't do it, but I'm considering it. I love doing this with you on Fridays. I and my washed out late 80s music video face say thank you so much.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
Yes. So we'll be talking more next week. Next week is really the conversation that we've been waiting for 3 weeks, because I will have finished watching Severance and I'll have substantial thing to say. And you will too. And I'm considering making the season finale a Google Meet or a Brave or a Zoom, whoever gives us the most sponsorship money, to do a group conversation. The Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Flash, Green Lantern of it all.
Amazing. Amazing.
And since you look so much like Linda Carter when your hair is black, why not?
I think that would be fantastic.
All right, good. So Dahlia, Dr. Dahlia Schweitzer, PhD, known in my podcast as Dr. Dahlia, thank you so much.
Thank you, SBS.
Thank you. And I'll see you next week.
All right. Take care. Bye.